There you go. This thing looks mean with the front off. So we got the nose off here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make these hood pins attach in the front here. And the reason I have the nose off is because now I can pop behind here and get my measurements to the pins and make my brackets and weld them to the back side. Don't mind that rust there. That's fine. That's race car stuff. So all I really need to do now is just make a cardboard template. We're gonna fit it up to the pins there. Then once that's good, I'm gonna plasma cut it out of some plate here. And then we'll be able to weld it all together. Should be pretty quick. I have a bunch of this flat bar laying around. It's this wide, so I cut some cardboard down to see what I can make with this kind of footprint here. But the idea is to make it match this curvature right here, just from the underside and a little bit oversized. Then we'll drill some holes in it for the pin here. Guess I gotta make this a little bit longer, huh? That should work. Alrighty, we got proof of concept here. I just popped them one quick, they line up perfectly. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut out some squares, or rectangles rather. I'm gonna weld them to here as like a little standoff to space them down from the back side of the hood. And then we'll weld them to these brackets. We'll pop the brackets in with the balls, and then we'll tack them to the body. You may have noticed that I'm using different welders and plasma cutters in this week's video. That's because Eastwood reached out and they said, hey, can you show off our new line of Rockwood welders and plasma cutters? This is the Rockwood 160 and the Rockwood Plasma Cut 40. And they asked me to see if I can do professional level work with these products. And well, as you may have noticed, they seem to be working out pretty well here. I do really like how these machines are very small and lightweight, so they're easy to move around the shop. I also liked how the MIG had a function where you can put in your material thickness and your wire gauge and everything else, and it will set you to a baseline to start welding, and then you can adjust from there. It's great for beginners. I'm not a MIG welding expert, so it actually was helpful for me as well. Eastwood is currently having a Labor Day sale where you can get $25 off $199. Check out the link in the video description down below so you can find out more information on the sale and also these welders and plasma cutters. So anyway, thanks to Eastwood for sponsoring this week's video. Sponsorships like this keep our channel going. I would say let's get back to work, but I've been working while I've been talking this whole time, so let's continue doing that. spring, but beautiful. Sure, it may not be the most beautiful thing I've ever made, but we have functional hood pins now. I do need to figure out how to keep these springs from flying out. These springs keep like back pressure on the hood so it doesn't vibrate around. And also when you push the buttons, then it makes it spring upwards. So I might come up with a solution there to make sure this stays in place. But now I have a hood that's ready to be popped on and also ready to have some louvers popped into it. Speaking of the springs, Tony had an idea. The kit did come with these washers, which I assumed were for like the base plate, between the nut and the base plate. But the washer's also small enough to stay beneath the head of the pin. So we take we drop the washer on the floor. So we take the washer, slide it down the pin here until it goes to the head, and then put the spring on, and then put the nut on. It should trap the spring and hopefully solve our problem. I also didn't look at the instructions for these at all. So it's what we're supposed to do. So now it's trapped. I mean, it's not nicely trapped, but it is trapped. And it'll still spring down.
All right, let's try it.
Just gonna tighten this down quick. All right, let's see if that works before we do all four. Yeah, works. Good job, Tony.
Thank you.
They actually look really bad, but they function much better. Now it's louver time.
All right, I love this hood fitment, by the way.
It's not great. It's intentional, right? So this is you got a gap here so you can fit your fingers in to lift it up.
Right.
The pin solution is not perfect.
What are you thinking, Ryan? About that far in?
Yep. So it's 180.
Right, so to right there.
Okay. So as you can see, we went with like the angled approach, but the idea is to level, wait, you measured wrong.
I measured wrong, why?
What angle did you measure 180?
Oh.
It's not 90 off the tape, it's supposed to be 90 off the direction of the car, yeah.
Okay. I know you wanted me to be wrong, and so I thought.
Tony, I just wish you'd be more professional. It's like, I have to think of everything around here. There you go. So while Tony's plotting that out, let's talk about the louver orientation. It was a hot topic last video. You guys had some very strong opinions, and we have our own strong opinions, and the answer's probably somewhere between there, so let's talk about it. Many of you said we should have our louvers like this, popped up with a hole to the back side so that as the air goes over top, it creates a low pressure zone that sucks the air out, and that would technically work. However, we've done louvers in the past, like on our slant nose project, with the louvers in this orientation, which actually works about the same, but not as ugly. So when your louvers like this is the cutaway here, what happens to the air on the outside, it flows across the top, and thus creates a Venturi effect here, which causes the air to go up and out. Now, if you're having problems there, what you can also do is add a gurney flap to the front here, which causes air to pop up a little bit, again, creating a low pressure zone right here, which helps suck air out. But that's a similar fashion to the other way, what you guys are mentioning, whereas if you have your louver like this, and you have air going across the top here, it's gonna create a low pressure zone here that'll also pull air out. However, this way I think looks a lot better, and in fact, a lot of more modern cars with louvers have it like that. Look at other like newer Porsches. We're gonna go this way, and I'm gonna hit the camera with the marker. Also, I will add, we are not aerodynamic engineers. We're not going for perfect. We're just going for functional enough. And
I did do a little research on the internet, and as we know, a little research is the worst kind of research. But one thing I know for sure is if we really want to get this right, it has to be at speed, and we can't do that right now. And the other thing we know is we're going to spend a lot of time in grid, and at that point, any hole in the hood is going to let some heat out.
That's the really main reason we're making these holes. Let the heat come out. And this car won't be driving straight most of the time as well, which again makes the louvers a little bit more tricky. This is not a time attack car. I just don't want this car to overheat when we're having fun on a track day for fun. But louvers like this, pop downwards, gonna look so much better on a nice flat surface compared to the other way around. At least in my opinion, and it's my car, so.
And sometimes the best research is to just copy what other people have done. And if you look at modern louvers, they're all subsurface and they're a slightly different shape than this, but I think this is still going to be our best bet.
Yo, you wanna play snakes and ladders?
Yes, heels and escalators.
Yeah! So this is our proposed layout for the louvers. We have two options here. One is transcribe that into a piece of metal that will then bolt to the hood, or two, re-strip the hood down and try to punch it directly in the hood. And I see no reason not to try, at least, right?
We can try. There might not be much body filler right there.
It doesn't look like there is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a cutoff wheel. I'm gonna cut all of our slits, and then after that, we'll just strip the paint off, and then we'll go over to our louver press we made and work together here to try to press these. And if we mess up one single louver, we got to cut it all out. So no pressure. There's only like 35 to do.
When we make our cuts, we'll see if there's body filler.
We need to be careful about the structure underneath the hood. Tell me if you could drop that down, please. You'll notice that these two back louvers would be inside that structure, so we're gonna nix those, which is fine because honestly, that's really close to the high pressure zone of the windshield. So whatever.
We still have lines there, but
we'll ignore those. I don't see any filler, so I think we'll be okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Sure.
I mean, at this point, there's no nerves about punching the louvers in because we've already cut all the slits.
Yeah, they're already located. I went ahead and put lines in the end too, so we can line up the dies better. It's gonna be a little tough because they do like step over as you go forward here. And also because of the depth of the tool, I might have to flip the dies halfway and flip the hood around, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, I'll punch them, you film, I think. Slash help hold because I punched them before. Go this direction. I'm gonna mark center here too quick, just because I feel like it'll be easier to line up. Just marking center on these dies. Level. First attempt. I don't find itself.
We've got a good fallback, so.
Look at that. Yeah. That looks really good. Only like 72 more to go. This is definitely a two-man job.
Yep. Yep.
It slides into place then. Nice. Look at those louvers on the back side.
Just pretend you're air, Ryan. Would you want to go through there?
Oh, that's very inviting. Let's see how it looks in the car before we do any kind of cleanup. Woo!
Look at that. That's
functional. Asymmetry.
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
Don't mind the spoiler falling off, but that looks really cool.